Hello class, hope that you all are good at health. Welcome to the digital class with your teacher Malek Ashia Parveen. In the very first lecture of English, we had learned about the paper style of English. Now in this lecture, we shall proceed with the very first poem of our reader Flamingo. The title of the poem is My Mother at 66 by Kamla Das. Now Kamla Das, as you can see her image on the screen, her Muslim name was Kamla Suraya. She was a renowned Indian writer, poet, novelist, short story writer, columnist, and she had written autobiographical works also. She was the winner of many Nobel awards. The list of the awards you can see, it is being displayed on the screen. Her pen name was Madhavi Kutti. Pen name means the name given to the writer in the world of literature. That means in the world of literature, she was being known by the name Madhavi Kutti. She was a staunch feminist writer and was widely known for her bold write-up. She was also a very widely read columnist and wrote on crucial topics including the female issues, childcare, politics, and many other issues. Let's go through some series of works written by Kamla Das. As you can see on your screen, the short story is being written by Kamla Das, A Doll for the Child Prostitute, Padmavati the Harlot and Other Stories, The Sirens, Summer in Calcutta, The Descendants, The Old Playhouse and Other Poems. All the works that you see on the screen, they were being written by the profound writer Kamla Das. Now before we proceed to our poem, My Mother at 60. Now before we initiate our poem, let's weave a background of this poem. As the title of the poem is My Mother at 66. If we start discussing this particular title itself, then the word mother, obviously, when we hear the word mother, lots of emotional things comes into our mind. Mother is a sense of security, a sense of love. All the things means for a child, a mother is everything. For a child, the mother is the periphery of her world, of his or her own world. If in a practical terminology, if we happen to define our own existence, okay, once upon a time a French philosopher, he was being asked, okay, if you have to define yourself, if you have to define your own existence, then how are you going to explain your own existence? Then obviously the practical answer, or say the logical answer being given by that French philosopher was that I think, therefore I am. I think, therefore I am. So that was wholly on a practical basis, his theme of existentialism or existence on a practical level. But as far as our existence is concerned, then if we start thinking that terminology, that particular term, that particular thing from a psychological or emotional point of view, then the very core or essence of our existence is our mother. Why? Because we have taken birth from her womb. So for us, she is the center of all the happiness. And the love of a mother, it is being said, it is a continuous flow of a river, endless fountain, whereupon you can see the emotional water, or say the love that resides in that fountain, it is never going to dry up. It is eternal. So here also a sort of emotional bond between a mother and daughter, to some extent you will be able to see over here her childhood memories, her bond with her mother, and when her mother gets older, what sort of things goes on in her mind. She is describing all those things very vividly over here. Apart from that, if you concentrate on the poem, then you will be able to see a whole of the poem, it is in the form of a statement. That means throughout the poem you won't be able to find any full stop till the end of the poem. You're going to find out the commas being inserted over there, but only at the end of the poem you will be able to find a full stop. Whole of the poem, it is in the form of one single statement. Now let's concentrate upon the pre-task of this particular poem. So it's being written over here before you read. The question is being asked over here. Aging is a natural process. Have you ever thought what our elderly parents expect from us? Obviously, aging is a natural process. We are being given birth over here, so we are bound to die. Anything that is being given that is being given birth over here, it is bound to die. It is the course of nature. जिसने जन्म लिया है उसकी मृत्यु निश्चित है. But throughout our childhood, when we were children, obviously the expectation of our parents was something different from us, and when we have grown younger, at that time their expectation from us is different. When we are progressing, when we are getting younger, we should also think about them that they are getting older. So it is being said that as the individual or as human beings, they proceed to get older and older and older, somewhere they are again going through their journey. They are approaching their journey towards childhood. It is being said, and psychologically also many a times you will be able to find out this sort of behavior in the elderly people, whereupon at certain age you will be able to see the elderly people behaving like. The poem somewhere describes the bond being shared between the mother and the daughter. Obviously, the bond between the daughter and the mother, it is very, very strong. And somewhere she is being haunted by the idea of her mother getting older, and somewhere the fear of losing her. Because in the poem itself, she is describing her mother, she is having the wrinkled face, the paleness on her face. Somewhere it is an emblem of her getting perished in near future, and she does not want that particular thing to happen. Obviously in death it is a natural course, but then too we are not ready to accept it naturally, and somewhere the poetess, she is also not ready emotionally to accept that reality with that much ease. Now we shall proceed to learn the poem. We shall proceed to understand the poem stanza wise. It is being written over there in the very first stanza of the poem. Driving from my parents' home to Cochin last Friday morning, I saw my mother beside me, doze, open mouth, her face ashen like that of a corpse. So she must have gone to her parents' place at Cochin, and she must be going to airport in order to drop her mother back home. at that time, when she was sitting along with her mother in the car, at that time she was thoroughly watching the face of her mother. And what she saw on the face of her mother, she was just sitting beside her, and she could observe that she was dozing. And while she was dozing, her mouth was open, and her face was ashen. Ashen means what? Here this particular abbreviatives, why they are being used over here? In order to show the paleness. Here the face, it is being described as ashen, in order to make us understand, or in order to know how pale her face was. And it is being compared to what? A corpse. Corpse means was what? A dead body. So she was sitting beside the poetess, and she could feel that she was dozing. Her mouth was open, and her face was very, very, very pale. The face was very pale, and her whole of the body, it resembled a corpse, means a dead body. So it perhaps expressed the pain that she must be feeling because of the separation from her daughter. It was the time because they were supposed to depart from each other. So all these things, whatever physical condition the mother was, whole of her physical condition somewhere described or let the poet understand that it was all due to the pain that the mother was feeling because she was getting separated from her daughter. Whether she is going to meet her again or not, it is also a big question. So all those things she is describing it vividly over here, because she herself is also very sad. She is going to get departed from her mother, and she herself is unknown about the thing whether in the future she will be able to see her mother back or not. So sadness on both the parts are being described over here, on the part of the daughter also and on the part of the mother also. Let's proceed to the second stanza. And realized with pain that she was as old as she looked, but soon put that throughout away and looked out at young trees sprinting, the merry children spilling out of their homes. Now, as soon as she was looking to her mother, she was looking at her in a very descriptive way. She was constantly looking at the face of her mother, and as she was looking towards the face of her mother, she could feel the pain that her mother, she was getting older and older, and soon one day she is going to die. So that itself was giving a lot of pain to her. She didn't wanted to make her mind realize about the approaching death, or about the sense of her losing her mother. So what she is doing, for a time being, she is trying to concentrate on something else. Previously, though, she was looking to her mother and she was thinking all such sort of things. So in order to get rid of all these things, in order to get rid of such thought, she starts looking out of the window. And what she is looking out of the window? When she is looking out of the window, she is looking at the young children playing over there. The trees over there, the trees sprinting, means because the vehicle, it was moving very fast. By the thought of losing her mother in near future, she started looking out of the window of the moving car. And what she observed from that? There, the young green trees, and they were running in the opposite direction. Obviously the car, it was moving very, very fast. So she could see the young trees, the greenery, it was moving in altogether opposite direction. She was also looking at the group of children, those who were marching towards their home to play. And all this thing obviously, when she is looking to all such things, all these things, they are reminding her of her own childhood and her own memories when her mother was young and she was a child. Here the young sprinting trees represents the thought of how fast the time it is moving. Previously she was a child, now she is a grown up and a married woman. So the sprinting, the trees that are moving very fast away, somewhere they are a sort of emblem, or they represent the fast flow of time from the past to the present, from the childhood to her young age. The children over there represents the youth, the young people full of energy. So she is also recollecting her memories when she was child and her mother was very, very young. Both the young trees and the children here represent the contrast, sharp contrast over here. Why? Because on one side if we see, there was a positive attitude, okay, the trees, they were young. To her part also, she was young, she was very, very young, okay. But at the same time, contradictory to it, the mother, she was getting older and older and she was suffering from her ill health. So she was getting younger, but eventually her mother, she was getting older and older. So these sprinting trees and the young people, somewhere they are representing the sharp contrast that resides between them. We shall proceed to the third stanza. But after the airport's security check, standing a few yards away, I looked again at her. Wan, pale as a late winter's moon. So for a time being, when she was occupied with the thought of losing her mother, so what did she start doing? She started looking out of the window. She started looking at the young children playing and the trees over there. So they were able to divert her thought for a time being. But again, when she reached the airport, when she had reached the airport, and after passing through the security check, the poetess again looks back to her mother, who was standing a very few yards away from her. So again she could see her mother, she was again looking lifeless and dull like the winter's moon. Why? The paleness of her mother, it is being compared to the winter's moon, because in winter the moon is not being visible clearly in the sky. The landscape of the moon we are not able to see clearly during the winter time. So that this winter's moon, it is being compared to the paleness or lifelessness that is being seen on the face of the mother of the poetess. And the last stanza of the poem. And felt that old familiar ache, my childhood's fear. But all I said was, see you soon, Amma. All I did was smile and smile and smile. So when she was looking at her mother's face, obviously she was feeling pain, because as I said earlier, she was very much uncertain about whether she is going to see her mother back again or not. She could see, she could find the approaching death. Okay, somewhere her mother, she is going to perish away very soon. So once again, when she was going to get separated from her mother, at that time she was pained to see her mother in this condition. She was not ready to accept the paleness and the dullness that was being seen on her mother's face. As she was going away and leaving her mother, obviously the pain that she was having, all the familiar pain, her childhood fear, okay, one day she is going to lose her mother, all of a sudden all those things came, all those things started appearing, bouncing and jumping in her memory. In the childhood also she was having the same sort of insecurity. Okay, what will happen if she is going to lose her mother? Because as I said in previously, okay, mother, obviously it is the source of security to a child. So to her also, her mother was a sense of security. So the fear that she was having in her childhood of losing her mother, again that fear, it started sprinting out, and again she was occupied with the feeling of losing her mother. And suddenly she was so much sad, but then what she is doing, she tried to hide her emotions behind her smile. She started smiling at her mother. She didn't wanted to show her emotions to her mother, because obviously if her mother is going to see her sad face, then she is also going to feel sad about it. So she did not want to reveal her feelings to her old mother. She didn't wanted her mother to get to know her feelings, that she is sad. She is bidding her farewell with a great smile on her face. And she gave a hope to her mother by saying that they would meet again, keeping a smile on her face. Although her meeting with her mother, it was uncertain, but then also, in order to assure her mother, in order to give her mother a hope, she is bidding her farewell. And what she is telling, okay, they are going to meet once again, and with a smiling face she is bidding farewell to her mother. So all this was the content of the poem. Hope that you have understood the content of the poem very well, and you could see the question answers over here. Later on I am going to share the PDF also of the said textbook. Don't worry, I will be sharing it. So you are going to know out all these 5 questions that are being asked over here. You are supposed to write it down. It is your homework. You are supposed to do it. Practice writing. If you feel like you are not getting any idea, you are free to call me up, and I am going to tell you how the answers are supposed to be written. As I had said in 11th standard, first paragraph will be your introductory paragraph. You are supposed to write down a bit of introduction of the poet, and then a short description of the poem. Okay, what exactly is the content of the poem, but it should be very, very short. You are not supposed to elaborate the introduction. And then write down whatever is being asked in the question, so that you will get the practice to how to write in the board examinations. In the next lecture, we shall discuss about the literary devices used in the poem, that means the figure of speech. In the next lecture, we shall discuss all the figures of speech that are there in the poem. Till then, take care and goodbye.